Hey guys, I am here with the man, Cortland Finnegan, and he's been very generous to let me interview him. This week we were talking about eating for athletes, and I say I like to train like an athlete, but I've not been anywhere near pro level that he has, but I also know for me to be able to function all day long and do what I do with the kids and my business and everything, I have to eat well, and you know that's what I preach all the time, but Cortland's going to speak from more of what I would say an expert opinion of someone who's been pro.
Yeah, I don't know if it's expert.
He doesn't like the spotlight on him, so you'll get all these facial expressions, but that's why I asked him, because he's humble and not ego-based.
Well, I appreciate it. That's important.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know how I met Cortland, because he probably doesn't even realize what I knew about him before. He played for the Titans most of his career. We live here obviously in Tennessee, but I didn't follow Titans. I was more of a college ball person growing up in Indiana, basketball and that type of thing. I didn't have an NFL team that I was, really invested in. So when I was supposed to meet with Cortland, we were going to talk about juicing for athletes with high schoolers and football players and young. And I would tell people, I'm going to meet with this guy, Cortland. Every person, and this is not a joke, every person, oh my God, he's my favorite Titans player. Oh my God, he's so nice. Or they would say, oh my God, do you know what draft pick he was or whatever, and how hard he worked to get to where he is? I mean, and really, I think you are Nashville Titans royalty, even though you ended up, going somewhere else. I've not heard, other than your infamous brawl on the field with I don't even know what player. I mean, there's never been a negative thing that I've heard. I've heard from my teacher friend about how sweet you were to a girl on Twitter that was a big fan, and you reached out to her, which you probably remember. And then just anyone. So I mean, I felt it was good that I wasn't meeting with someone who was
that wasn't a total jerk.
a jerk player. This will go off like this. We'll keep going. So that's how I met Cortland. He is has invested in juice bars,
yes, ma'am.
Which is not only local to us. You can go on ilovejuicebar.com and see how many stores are opening everywhere. He was a patron and bugged him about wanting to be a part of it, and helped it get to that next level, but also played into his passion as a healthy eater, but also as an entrepreneur. And he's, most importantly probably in your life, a husband and a father of 3. And I say an entrepreneur and still an athlete, because you help mentor and coach. And
still coach there, some kids, and still do my thing. So I love it.
Yeah, and you're so young, and he's got tons to go, and he's just living life and enjoying it and making that his mission. So since we're talking about eating as athletes, I told him before I prepped him, I wanted to know how you ate possibly before, when you weren't as aware of what good real food was.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming from a single parent mom, early on, we would eat the McDonald's of the world, the 20-piece, because you had to provide for the family. It wasn't until you get older that you realize what you put in your body is a really important thing. And for them, when you're young, it's just all about just how many calories can I get, can I sustain through the day, and then you start realizing that you don't have that many calories, but you can start eating healthier and start feeling better. And it wasn't until I got to college that I was on a meal plan and something different, that I realized, okay, these are the things that you eat. You're around people that are eating the right way, that are having the energy and, the fuel that you're like, how do they keep going? How are they still so active and they still got this energy? And it wasn't until that, you kind of get that aha moment where you learn from someone else just by watching or just by them telling you. And that was I think, so it took till college. And that was just, obviously getting away, from the mom, because she just had to provide for, 3 kids.
Well, you said she home cooked a lot too, and I think that's missing in our generation, because we're similar to the same age, because mom was always working, which your mom still was as a single parent, but she's not in the kitchen anymore. They don't have those skills. Girls my age, and I'm 35, don't have those skills to know how to cook. But when you say eat like your grandma did, or eat it's because you might have some box, but you sat down together, you usually talked about your day.
You didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah, you de-stressed. You were mindful when you ate, unless you were running behind. You didn't now. I eat in my car sometimes. You know what I mean? And so I still try to be wait, I'm mindful at the stop sign while I'm taking this bite. But for the most part, and so I think even though you might not have been eating the most healthy things with your mom, even if she was cooking, because my mom made hamburger helper all the time and stuff. We still sat at the table. We talked about our day. And And that love component was there.
That's what I mean. You're seeing, a younger generation too, as well as younger parents. And then they have to be in the workforce, so it's hard just to sit around and cook those home-cooked meals now. I mean, now we have access to the organic stuff now, and you got the Whole Foods and fresh markets, but 15 years ago, that wasn't, accessible. You had to really pay premium for that stuff. So that was just neat that she was still, actually, she would really cook at home, and it was good, but for the most part, it was just, out and about, and just get it as you go and keep it moving.
And his mom's a firecracker. I mean, she's
crazy.
Multicolored hair, and she's got guns, and she's like this big. And
she's military, so she said eat it, we ate it.
Well, when someone put that together that was your mom at Booey's Kitchen or whatever, I was like, what? That's Cortland's mom?
Yeah.
But, I can tell she probably made life quite fun.
Y'all pray for me.
So we kind of went into what changed you was kind of watching other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there ever a time when you thought, like, hey, literally my muscle definition could be maybe better, or my recovery could be better? Was there ever that connection?
I think it was definitely college. I mean, just being around, you having a strength coach now, someone to hold you accountable, things of that nature. Then not only the strength coach, but the nutrition side of it. Mm-hmm. So you realize that you had to take your protein shakes after workouts. They just implemented a system, and you kind of once you get involved in that, I think now it's a lifetime thing for me. So now I know what to eat. The food pyramid, didn't know any of that until I got there. What to eat, what worked for me, what didn't. What allergies, what kickbacks did I have to eating a lot of steak or chicken.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing that I think, because I do more holistic based nutrition, and there's definitely difference in nutritionists. Mm-hmm. Do you think, though, that what I find at the people in the gym, it's about protein, carbs, fat, calorie reduction. Was there many people, as you were coming up in the pro level, connecting, though, the nutrition? Because they're not going to juice like you believe in juicing. Right. They're not going to be thinking, green juice, that's for the hippie. Oh, why would I juice? That's just, what does that do? And so I think that I'm seeing, and I'm hoping, just because I'm being positive, that there's this merger of this thought of like, okay, yeah, we have to make sure we have enough macros to fuel us, but where's that micro component? And I mean, and that's what frustrates me when I know they endorse because they want money, but when you see the athletes endorsing McDonald's or different things like that, mm-hmm. or now the big thing, and I hear it more and more, is, drink chocolate milk after a workout, and it just, I mean, it's like, and so I'm hopeful, just as everybody getting healthy, that it works that way. But like when you think about pro athletes, and I told him the message that you can send out, mm-hmm. because you have such a bigger audience, to let people know that there is a better way than what's being. Absolutely. And it's about, because when you're finished, right? Would you say you're finished? For sure. I won't see another headline.
No, thank you.
But now that he's finished, and I think what the older players that finish later are realizing, mm-hmm. it's like the brain, what's going on with that? What's going on with my knee going out? Or they can't have that longevity because you took so many hits and you did so much to your body. Mm-hmm. And so what I would hope is that early in the career, there's someone like myself or someone that they meet as another athlete like you that says, hey, why don't you start putting some nutrition in there?
I think later on we've gotten to that. The NFL wasn't really big on that. It was team by team basis. So what they would do, they would set it up, as a nutritionist. We didn't have those. So now they're starting to implement them because they realize how important it is. They can't just show a guy, this is what you should eat and just expect him to do it. That's just not the way it works. But what we do in the cafeterias, they set it up now to where these are some of the healthy food options that you can have. So when you leave here, look for this stuff. Mm-hmm. The less legs, the better. So your fish and your chicken. Don't try to eat steak, but once or twice a week. It's for yourself with the proper nutrients and things of that nature, salads and fruits and things of that nature. So
now, are they saying no steaks because of it being a red meat, or are they saying no steaks because of the digestion component?
I think it's a two-part thing, especially for some of the bigger athletes. Let's just shy away from them, and let's just see how you react to it as well. So that's been the biggest thing. I think in the last 2 or 3 years, team by team, you'll look across the league, and they're high nutritionists, because now it's like you're paying this guy so much money. Now let's invest in him as the person to try to get him to a healthy lifestyle.
And I agree, yeah. And I think, and I see the same thing when it comes to musicians. It's like, what I noticed because I was a recording industry major, that was mm-hmm. what my degree was in, and I would notice when I worked in an office, like, they had a trainer to make their body look good, because that's what sells to people when they have on the album cover or whatever. But then long term, if you looked at some of them as they age,
Right.
they were not aging well without surgery. Because the trainer doesn't really always know nutrition,
Right.
really. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
They know how to make your body look good and sculpted, like as if you were going to do a competition, but
Mhm.
it's not that nutrition that's going to last.
Right.
And I think it's good that more athletes are getting onto that, and that's what I try to,
Right.
I guess, sell myself as far as my business is to say, like, okay, yeah, you got to look good, of course, because image
Right.
sells, but you need to be able to be on a stage every
Right.
day. You need to be able to...
Looking for longevity, and that's nutrition.
Yeah.
You can have that aspect of it, longevity, because you're not going to be able to lift the same weight you lifted.
Well, and money-wise, if you have to you can't play a game or they have to cancel tour dates or whatever,
Mhm.
a lot of people lose money. And
Yeah.
so it truly is your job, and the body has to be looked at, I
Mhm.
think, as that.
I love
job.
what you said about that, because it's like your kids watch what you do and watch what you eat. So, you're the one buying the groceries and bringing home. So you're actually setting the stage for them, as they grow. So you're part nutritionist in and of yourself, because you learn from somebody as well.
Yeah, and they always do.
Yeah, they can't.
Good
They
and bad.
only can eat what you put in the refrigerator. That's the biggest thing. People always say our kids eat so healthy, and I'm like, well, we buy the groceries, so whatever is there available, that's what they're going to eat.
Yeah, and that is hard as a parent because you're trying to do everything you could do, and you really I would say 99%, I want to believe this, is doing the best they can for their kids.
Mhm.
But we do know when we do give them bad stuff,
Right.
we shouldn't, and it's our weak moment or whatever. But I think for me too, I just we set some beginning standards with the kids of the couple things, because we're very different in the way we eat, but I didn't want to send them to like the neighbor's house that didn't care what they ate with like, don't give them this, non-GMO, and da-da-da-da. So we just said no cow's milk and no meat, because then I knew I wasn't getting junk cow's milk, and I wasn't getting like chicken nuggets and fish sticks given to my kids. And then now that they're older, 7 and 9, I can educate them on what's a healthy cow, what's a healthy chicken,
Right, for sure.
So if they choose to eat those things, then it's the best quality as opposed to what unfortunately kids are getting now with them.
Amen.
So last question, I guess, as we wrap it up, because you kind of, I have questions down here, that's why I'm looking. You're retired. I want you to tell them what your passion is at this point, because it's not like I have a good nest egg and I just want to hang out. I mean, you have goals, and you're an entrepreneur, so you're involved in a lot of things.
Yes, ma'am.
And
so I guess it's just I guess it's as cheesy as it sounds, just like giving back to something that's been given to me, and that's just been through football. I mean, I've been able to make a lot of connections, meet a lot of people, just great people, and so humbling. So I want to leave it a little better. So anybody I come in contact with, and it's maybe from a younger generation for me, kids that I can give back through, just talking to. Encouraging, and then also from the football aspect, I've been able to do that, coaching some a little bit at Brentwood Academy, doing juice bar and being able to put a smile on someone's face by delivering a juice to them. And then, just the shoes, we've got, some things working out, like a little shoe company. So I always want to be involved,
little shoe company.
Always wheels turning, but it's always something just to better something. I don't want to be involved with anything that's not going to be beneficial to someone else. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. Not everyone has that luxury, but again, when you have that and you're happy at what you're doing, it's kind of, someone can see that and pick up on it and love it. So that's what I've been able to do, and I'm blessed enough to say that. But just want to, leave somebody with a little bit of joy and love. That's it.
And then you have a charity too that you support.
ARC 31 is called Acts of Random Kindness. It's been up and running now for 7 years, and we just were able to do a Christmas dinner and a Christmas where we took them shopping. About 125 athletes. So usually we give to Special Olympics of Tennessee and Leukemia and Lymphoma Society for the last 7 years. But since I was in town, we decided to do it, and we'll do it again next year.
That's
so
okay.
it's exciting. So there's always wheels turning. It's something that we can give back because we just want to leave it a little better than we found it.
And almost, I would say every morning that you can, he's slinging smoothies in juice.
Juice Bar Brentwood.
At Juice Bar in Brentwood is his
sure.
favorite, his special treatment to Juice Bar in Brentwood.
I love it.
But you genuinely enjoy doing it.
I love people because you know them not knowing that you play football, but you've been able to interact with them, and then they put two and two together, and they're like, wow, that's awesome. Like the juice just got a little better. I'm like, it didn't get any better. I'm just loving on you as if I would anywhere else.
I think though, like what I find, just because I've been fortunate to be surrounded and exposed to celebrities or people who are in the public eye, and I'm always perplexed at this idea that you're not really human,
right,
even though you are,
right,
you know,
right.
and so people but the positive part of that, if they're not getting obsessed with someone's image in life, is that it just changes their day. Like, oh, cool, I got this person, and then of course they get on social media, I got my juice from Cortland Finnegan.
I was like, yes.
But yeah, it's an awesome thing that you get to do, and since you are that positive person, and you are looking at everybody that way when you meet them, it makes it so much better.
I love it.
So, that's all I got. That's all I got. Okay. It did get so weird.